Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It's Drew, the Smash, back at you with another episode here today. Hope you're all doing well, and appreciate your support in the recent days, weeks, and everybody following along with the series. So, with that, we're in a week 15. This is prep time for what is going to be the Pac 12 championship. So, we're going to run through and kind of recap everything that happened this season. So, real quick, let's start with top 25. We got Syracuse perfect 12-0, Georgia 12-0, Ohio State 11-1, Notre Dame 10-2, us there at 5 at 11-1, Miami 10-2, Penn State 10-2, Wisconsin 10-2, Stanford 10-2, and North Carolina 10-2, Michigan 9-3, Florida 10-2, Bama 9-3, Texas A&M 10-2. As you guys can kind of see as I scroll there. So, college football playoff is going to be interesting. Obviously, Georgia, Syracuse, most likely in no matter what. But we got some big, or actually huge, kind of games to be played out here during conference championship week that are going to have. I think every conference championship is going to have playoff ramifications, which is going to be huge. So, um, real quick, as you can see, we will be representing South, and we're taking on Stanford. We'll show the exact matchups here in just a few minutes. But anyway, Christian Villial looks to be the guy for the Heisman Trophy at the end of the season. Um, threw for 2,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Completed almost 70% of his passes. Ultimately a really good season by him. You got Braylon Allen, great running back out of Wisconsin. You got E.J. Smith the third, who will be or the fourth actually, who we will be trying to stop. Tyrone Moses, who Stanford will be trying to stop, and Jamarian Miller, who is Alabama's guy there. So, with that, let's check out the award finalists. So, Villial looks to be in the lead for the Maxwell, Brett Gabbert, and Tyler Buckner. Villial, Chris Street, and E.J. Smith. You got Aubrey Smith looking to be your Bernardic award winner with his season that he put on the books. Prince Colley there as well. Chaz Chamberlain. Derek Alexander there at fourth. Nagurski looks to be two Georgia guys, and Prince Coley. The O'Brien, Villial, Van Dyke, Gabbert, Doak Walker, Street, Smith, Braden Bennett, Bolitnikoff, Jordan Mosley, Seven McGee, and Lorenzo Styles. The Mackey, Andrew Homer, Shane Calhoun, and Quentin Moore. Outland, Tate Rutledge, Broderick Jones, Ben Chrisman, Luke Whippler, Remington, Cedric Van Pran, and Seth McLaughlin. The Lombardi, J.J. McDonald. I told you guys, guy's going to be a stud. 52 tackles. We'll get to our stats here in a minute. Butkiss, Colley, Smith there at 2, Chambliss there at 3. Thorpe, Devin Kirkwood, Kalen King, Jordan Morant, Ryan Stewart, Becker up for the Garoza, and the guy, James Burnup, Crenshaw, and Luke Larson. Johnny the Jet Rogers, Jaden Dotton, Shalik Knotts, and Jaden Marshall. And those are your top award finalists for the season. So with that, let's go into the season stats by themselves. So, first and foremost, we got Tyrone Moses, 207 for 316, 47 yards, 3,747 in yards, 31 touchdowns, 16 picks, averaged 312 per game, completed 65% of his passes, 18 yards per average, and was sacked only 18 times. Ultimately, was a fairly effective quarterback force to start. So great job there. Um, then we move to Trey House, who ran the ball 173 times for 985 yards, 12 touchdowns. You had Tyrone Moses, who had over 100 attempts for 685 and 5 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards per carry. Then Lawrence Watson is the freshman, 479 carries, 419 for 4 touchdowns. So overall, between those three, we all had some great contributions that led to an effective run game for us. Then we get to the receiving numbers. So we got Cole Dawson, who ended the year with 54 catches, 1,428 yards, 12 touchdowns. Jeff Kelly for 46 catches, 708 yards, 6 touchdowns. Eric Olson had 33 catches for 467 and 4 touchdowns. Grant Page, 24 catches for 549 and 6 touchdowns. Mike Burns had a fairly solid season in his limited time. Austin Smith played fairly well. So yeah, our receiving game was very spread out. I know Dawson took a little bit of a step back this year from last year's numbers. Didn't have as many passes come his way. Yards were down. And a lot of that was just because our passing game got a lot more balanced, which don't have the side by side, but if you checked last year's season stats compared to this year, we're a lot more balanced with our ball distribution than we were last year. So, that's just a credit to, good recruiting and building a more well-rounded offense. So, but yeah, with that, I mean, he still had a great season. Had a few more drops, but still put up almost 1,500 yards. So, as far as blocking goes, Beck gave up 4 sacks. So did Harrison. Other than that, not too terrible from the O line. They let guys in the backfield, but we just had to get rid of the ball a lot quicker too. All right, defensively, Aubrey Smith led the team 70 tackles on the season. Derek Alexander 54 and 52 for J.J. McDonald. Tackles for loss, J.J. McDonald 16, 12 for Alvin Williams, 12 for Derek Alexander. Mike Miller also adding 8. As far as sacks production goes, you got J.J. McDonald leading team with 5, Mike Miller 3, Derek Alexander 3, Alvin Williams 3. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. As far as interceptions go, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys all tied with 1. So, getting to the ball and trying to get it turned over. As far as deflection goes, Craig Williams had 9, Oliver had 5, Smith had 5. Fumbles, had a good chunk of fumbles, 3 forced by Smith, 2 by McDonald, and then a handful of guys forcing 1. So with that, we got those, and then we did get a good chunk of recoveries as well. Ended up with 2 blocks, no safeties, and 0 touchdowns. Kicking, Cole Becker, 20 of 22 for 90%, and then was 44 of 48 on extra points. So, good kicker, not great by any stretch of the imagination. We shouldn't be missing extra points, that's for sure. But I digress. So with that, also, let's jump into a bit of recruiting. So, big news is that we got Corey Myrick after last week. He committed to Colorado, but let's take a look at the recruiting board, what that looks like. All right, as we get ready to head into the offseason, Dion Anderson, who is on campus this week, will look to be a surefire commit for us. With where we're at, we just got to kind of finish the job for him. Lamont Pittman, going to be battling with him to the very end. TJ King, I'd imagine same story. Same with Gary Scott. Colin Long as well. Romero we're still in on. Same with Tyson. George Covington, we might be able to get a commitment from possibly if the visit goes well and everything with him this week. So there is that possibility for him. Jeff Mullins going to be a battle to the very end. However, he is on campus this week. Joel Smart on campus this week as well. Again, hopefully we could get one from him. And then Tony Peterson is looking to be a bit of a lock. So as far as our actual commits go, we got Myrick, Luke Johnson, Zach O'Neal, Travis Collins, Travis Nichols, Josh Thomas, Matt Davis, Tim Dockery, Anthony Moore, and Justin Dodson, our kicker. So with that, recruiting hasn't gone as according to plan this season. In my book. However, I'm still happy with the class we've been able to put together so far. Of our 10 commits, we got 5 4-stars, 5 3-stars, and we're currently sitting at the 25th ranked class in the country. So, with that, again, we didn't have the greatest recruiting season. However, I'm happy with where we're at, and we have the possibilities of putting some final touches on this class that are still going to set us up in a good spot for the future. So, I'm excited to see exactly what happens here and how we finish up from a recruiting perspective. As far as looking at my school, we got me at an A plus prestige. We're starting to become more and more of a championship contender. Folsom is becoming a great place to play. The campus lifestyle in Boulder is absolutely stunning and beautiful. In Pac-12, we got to improve our conference prestige a little bit. Continually try and up our program tradition, academic tradition, and everything like that. But, it's a start of where we're at. So, again, we're only in season 3. We're going to be here for the long haul. And, with that, we got a lot of building to do, just like Coach Prime has in real life. But with that, let's advance to conference championship week and see if we possibly pick up any commitments here. Hopefully we do. Would love to get a couple more guys signed before that off-season period. Doing it with you here live on the video. So get ready. Let's get a big boom in the comments if we're doing it. All right. So Romero has locked us out. George Covington did commit, so huge commitment there by good offensive linemen that we can look to build, and we'll. Do we even have the unlock? We don't. Alright, so Richard Romero, unfortunately, is gone and beyond our capabilities of recruiting. Which sucks because we had been in on him for a very long time. And yeah, unfortunately not able to get him in. But with that, we do get George Covington, 6'5", 309-pound tackle that can come in and play a variety of spots on the O-line for us, has some flexibility. So ultimately looks good there. Good add for us here to end the regular season. So recruiting momentum picking up a little bit. All right, let's take a look at what Championship Saturday looks like ahead. So you got Stanford and Colorado squaring off for a playoff spot. You got Miami of Ohio taking on Toledo in the MAC. App State taking on Texas State in the Sun Belt Championship. Next, you got Texas A&M taking on Georgia. There's a playoff spot on the line there for the SEC championship game. Next, you got the Mountain West, Boise State taking on UNLV in the Mountain West. Miami and Syracuse teeing off for a play conference championship as well as a playoff spot. And same with Ohio State and Wisconsin. And, the thing I think's most intriguing is, Power 5, you got us, the 4th ranked team, against 10th ranked Stanford. Georgia, the 2nd ranked team, against Texas A&M, a 16th ranked team. Miami and Syracuse are 1 versus 7. Then you got Ohio State versus Wisconsin, 3 versus 9. So, and I think in the playoff, yeah, Wisconsin's 8th in the playoff ranking. They all those rankings are based off the coaches poll, just so everybody's aware. Um, so we got a huge, probably the biggest week in all of college football. You got getting ready to square off this week, so make sure that you tune in to next episode of Buffs Dynasty, because it is going to be huge. Playoff implications all over the place. You got championships that will be won, and your Buffs looking to get into the college football playoffs for the first time ever and be trying to ultimately, possibly, win a national championship for the first time since 1990. But can Tyrone Moses and the boys get the job done? Find out over the next couple episodes. And with that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video if you're new. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed day. And it's Drew to Smash signing off. Catch you later, guys.